Hi, everyone. This is Mrs. Smith in the library, and I wanted to take a few minutes to share with you how to create your note cards in Noodletools for your Revolution research project. So if you'll remember, you will be filling out a set number of evidence cards, and that will be determined by what level you are in. So for example, level 2, you are filling out 6 evidence cards. Level 1, you're filling out 9. So your page that you might be looking at right now may look different than mine. You'll notice that I've color-coded them. So this first note card is just going to be the place where you name the cause, the category, if you will, that was on your prompt. So that's the economic, social, political, technological, cultural. That's what's going to go on here in the title. And you can just click right there. I can show you how you rename it right here. I know that the note card I'm going to be creating has to do with economics, so I'm going to rename it there. That's the only thing you're doing on that first note card. It's just there to help you keep track. So you remember that, okay, all my orange cards have to do with an economic cause of my revolution, whether it's taxes, something to do with wages, the cost of living. And if you forget what you're supposed to do in this card, when you open it, you can see it says, just name the cause in the title of this card to help you keep organized. So that's the first card. These 6 follow-up evidence cards, or 9 or 4, whatever it is that's required of you, this is where you're doing the bulk of your work. These note cards need to be filled out carefully. So when you open up your note card, you'll see I've already copy and pasted from an encyclopedia. I've selected it here. The details, the evidence about the economic cause. I am going to rename the title so that it reflects what is being discussed on this note card. Then I'm going to make sure I've selected the correct source, and that helps me with my citation at the end. So remember, when you're putting this in, when you're copying and pasting, you're also creating it as a quote, adding the beginning quotation marks, the end quotation marks, eliminating any end punctuation here, adding the citation, which you've gotten from up here, and adding the end punctuation. Please also note that if you were putting a quotation in a paper that you were writing to hand into your teacher, your quotation would never be a paragraph. It would be a couple of sentences at most. We're saying, okay, if you need to put a paragraph in here, that's fine. And we want to see that you would know how to cite it in a paper. Over here, you are going to paraphrase in sentence format what was being said over here. So you're putting this information in your own words here. So, and you're doing it in sentence format. I know what the word is paraphrase, but we want a sentence. Remember, you're not writing a paper, so this work here should be as if you were putting it in the paper. Again, you're going to cite it just like you did with the quotation correctly. My fingers are not working right today. There. Okay, so this should look just like this. For some of you, on Wednesday when you were here, we did not get to talk about this in your own words part. Okay, we had a shortened blocks because of the 30-minute aim to hand out Chromebooks. This does need to fill out. This is your original thinking. Remember, the overall question for this project is what causes a revolution. So here, you're putting it together. Taxes cause people to revolt when they feel they're being charged unfairly. You're putting this in your own words. You're putting it in sentence format, connecting the evidence here that caused the American Revolution as to why it caused people to revolt. In here as well, you need to keep in mind that you are not using the word I or you. Again, you're still writing this as if it was in a paper. You'll continue finding other economic reasons and adding them here, copying and pasting from your source right here, paraphrasing in sentence format over here, citing both of these, of course, making sure you've titled and you've selected the correct source. And then if your next economic cause, for example, has to do with wages, you could talk about why people would revolt if they're not earning the same amount of money or if their wages are being taken away for whatever reason. Okay. You always remember to save and close, and you move on to the next note card. You don't have to do all the economic all at once. As you're reading, you might find an piece of economic evidence from an article, and in that same article, you might find a piece of evidence for your second cause, which might be political, social, etc. Make sure you're using all of your sources to make sure you've got all the details that you need for your note cards. Okay, I hope that helps. I hope you have a great weekend. Please email us if you have any questions. Thanks.